Hi there, welcome back to my channel. Today I am here, as you can tell, to participate in the Open Collab hashtag Deck the Year. Now, if you have been following my channel, you know that every week on Thursday I share an altered card from this deck of playing cards. And this Open Collab is hosted by Penny from Penny's Crafty Creations. I will link her information in my description box below, along with all the other videos that I have made showing the altered playing cards since the beginning of the year. So every week I draw a different card out of the deck, and then the following week I will alter the face of that card. So it's been such a fun collab. I love participating. I love seeing all the other creators that are jumping in with this collab as well. And this week I took a different turn with my card, and I decided to use some distressing and some collaging. And I think it's probably one of my favorite cards to date. So I will get into it. I'll show you the supplies that I used. Again, the hashtag for this collab is Deck the Year. And you're going to want to follow that collab and check out all the crafters that are jumping in and creating essentially artist trading cards with their deck of cards. So let's get into it. I'll start off with the supplies, and then we'll take a look at the card that I altered. Now this week, we're coming up on my birthday week, and I received a beautiful Happy Mail birthday package from my friend Edith, who is crafting endeavors. And I will link Edith's channel as well in the description box below. But she sent me some amazing ephemera, and that got me really thinking that I wanted to make a more vintage-looking, distress-inspired collage card for this week. So that's what I decided to do. So I broke out some of the ephemera that she sent me, and it's just really beautiful. And then I took a trip over to my stand that holds all my distress ink. I picked out 2 distress colors. Now you may be saying, well, these are interesting colors that you would choose. I chose Crush Olive and Dusty Concord. So it's kind of like letting a genie out of the bottle when it comes to distress. It's very hard to choose. These 2 colors jumped out at me, and I really thought they would be perfect for the look I was going for on my card. They're just absolutely beautiful. A deep, exactly this Dusty Concord purple, and this Crushed Olive is just that as well. It almost looks like you muddled a green olive in a glass and came up with this color. So absolutely gorgeous for what I was going for. So I used these 2 distress colors only. And then because I was getting into distress, and again, this was opening Pandora's box for me, I used some paper dolls, or 1 paper doll from Tim. And I have a lot of paper dolls. That's 1 package. These are all gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. This is another package. This is yet another package. These guys are great for Halloween. And then this package. This is just to show off my paper doll collection from Tim Holtz. I really only used 1 of these, but they're all so incredibly beautiful, absolutely beautiful vintage images that I just adore. It's hard to choose, but 1 in particular really jumped out for the card that I was creating. So I used 1 of those. I used 1 of these label stickers from this collection, Thoughts. And I've used a few of these, as you can see from the blank spots here, but they're all amazing and so much fun. And then I used some flowers from this this layers collection, botanical layers, and these are beautiful as well. But I used some flowers from these, not the butterflies. I opted not to use those, but all such beautiful collage and distress material. So let's get into it. Let me show you the card. Okay, here is my card for this week. So once again, there's a lot going on, but I'm not going to show you too much of my fingers because they're still pretty inky, but that's to be expected when you start distressing and going down that wonderful rabbit hole. Here's the card. This card is the 9 of Hearts, as you can see here on the back of the card and the date. But the front of the card is what takes the show here, and I layered up some of that amazing ephemera that Edith sent me, did some collaging. Actually, you can see the pocket watch there that I couldn't wait to get my hands on. Pieces of a letter. There were actually pieces of a doily that I used, and just some pieces from that pack, a piece of a doily that I had, and then these are the flowers. I actually used this strip of flowers, and then I used some daisies, which she's standing in front of, but that's the image that I wanted to use. I just thought she was perfect. I love the dress. I love her face, hair, everything about her. But you can see where the distress ink came into play, that beautiful crushed olive and the dusty Concord gave it that vintagey black and white look, but also it gave it sort of a moldy old photo look, which I was really going for. And then live your life was one of the sayings that I just cut up. It's one of my favorite sayings. I think it's perfect for this image. And then the other thing I didn't mention is that I used my Spectrum Noir glitter pen, as I usually do, because I love it. But here's the neat thing. What do we know about distress ink? When it reacts with water, it also reacts with any other liquid. So when I went around the edges with the Spectrum Noir glitter pen, which is here, let me show you what that looks like if you're not familiar. And there's my inky hand. But it's like a Wink of Stella or any other glitter pen with a brush tip. But when it reacted with the distress ink, then it gave it sort of what would have been maybe a wet look, as if this was an old card that was in a box that was in someone's attic and got wet, and then formed that green of the crushed olive. I'm getting into a whole story with this, so you're going to have to bear with me. This is what happens when I start using collaging and distressing. I just get so absorbed in the images that you can make a whole backstory about these, which is what I really love about Tim's products. And when you start to collage with vintage like pieces, you sort of, get that feeling of finding something in an old antique store or in your grandmother's closet or box of photos. So I added that Spectrum Noir glitter pen around the edges, and that sort of modeled it some. I think you can see some of that, but you can still see some of the glitter, which I thought was so important. I even added a little bit of that to her dress, but not too much, just a little bit to make it stand out. I also took one of my Copics in a very, very deep sort of an olive green too, and it is YG99, and it is called Marine Green. Here's what that looks like. You can't really tell from the tip, but you can probably tell better from the cap. It's a deep green, and I just added touches of that around the flowers to deepen them up a little bit, make them sort of pop, but nice layering between those flowers and that girl. So I like the way that turned out. As I said, this is probably one of my favorites that I've made so far. I really enjoyed creating this one. So I hope you like taking a look. Please be sure to follow the hashtag Deck the Year. Check out all the other collaborators that are jumping in, especially Penny's channel. She makes some really beautiful pieces of art. I'm going to come back. I'm going to shuffle the deck and pick my card for next week. Okay, let's give the deck a quick shuffle here. Pick the card for next week. My deck is getting smaller by the week, but I love this collab. It's so much fun. I'm going to give the deck a quick cut here. Oh, here's my card for next week, the King of Hearts. Very excited to have that card. Love getting face cards. And the King of Hearts, well, I'll have to do something very special to alter this card. So please check back with me, and let's see how I decide to alter the King of Hearts for next week. Thank you so much for watching. and I'll see you next time.